Hello everyone and welcome to my thrilling report on the modern Whig Party. Let's get right into the background. The party chair at this moment is Dale Ritchie. They do not have a U.S. House leader or a U.S. Senate leader. They're a very small party with little federal representation. They do not have a chair of their Governors Association either. They were founded by veterans in Afghanistan and Iraq, and that's according to their official website, although Mike Lebowitz is kind of credited with bringing it all together. They were preceded by the original Whig Party, even though they have no official political connections to that, and they've also merged with many similar parties that share their beliefs over the years. Their motto is courage, common sense, and country. They do not currently have a mission statement, and this is what they say about it. We don't have a mission statement in the classical sense, but our goal is to serve the American people, first and always. As for their affiliates, they have chapters and members in all 50 states, but they have very little representation and candidates in any of them, and no one holds federal office or state house seats for them. And their colors are blue and buff, and in a lot of their pictures and propaganda you'll see that they have the colors of the American flag in there. Now let's get to this party's history. Their founding history: they were founded by veterans, as mentioned before, in 2007, so this is a very young political party because of America's, quote, deepening ideological divide. And after they were founded, they merged with the USA and the Veterans of America parties. All of their history is after the 20th century because they're so young, but here are some of the important events for them. They had their first party member elected when Ken Belcher was voted as a county constable in Alabama in 2008. They held their first National Leadership Council in December of 2009, and they merged with the American Centrist Party and the American Moderate parties in 2010 and 2016. In their electoral history, no modern Whig has been elected to office, although they've had a few people run for some state seats and representatives. Gene Baldessari ran for New Jersey State Assembly. He was not elected. Jeff Vanke and Kenny Golden ran for U.S. Congress in Virginia in 2010, and all of those who ran received double digits in percentages for the voting, but were not enough to be elected. And they currently have two members who are running for seats in the House in this 2018 election. They've sought offices from education boards all the way up to House and Senate membership, not presidential yet. And recent victories, they've had some city council members and Board of Education members that were elected for them. And now for information about their policies. In their economic policies, they support capitalism and free market economies. They really think that the budget for education should be increased, and we should put more effort into funding good government schools. The federal government, they think, should have as much responsibility for its spending as state governments do, and they believe that payment for teachers should be based off of merit. So the more successful the students of a teacher are, the higher they should be paid. Social, they think that abortions are allowed only within the first 3 months if the mother's life is in danger, and that there should not be any government interference on legal religious symbols or practices, and healthcare should be free market controlled, they think. Also, they discourage the death penalty, but they don't think it should be completely outlawed. They are looking for ways to make renewable and sustainable energy more accessible to the public for their environmental policies, and they want to work to preserve our environment through small controls on people's activities. So like just general increases on availability of recycling and things like that. For defense, they believe that each state should decide gun control laws, but the federal government may be able to limit citizens' use of automatic weapons. People can bear arms to protect their life and property, and there should be a military to protect American citizens from attack. Those are their defense policies. In their international policies, they don't think that the US should intervene in foreign uprising, and they think that if they want to help democratic revolts, you should send aid and not soldiers or weapons. Democracy and friendship should be tried before any international conflict, and illegal immigrants to the US should be granted amnesty after a fine and they learn English, unless they committed a crime within the US. In that case, they should be deported. And they think that the US should improve its immigration system and streamline it. As for their student and youth wings, I could not find anything on that. I do not believe they have them. Again, this is a small political party. And now my thoughts on the modern Whig Party. What I like about the party is their policy of restraining automatic weapons, but not all firearms. I think that's a good happy medium there. And I also like how they emphasized education and using science and technology to advance America. And I kind of like the idea of how you get paid based on your merit, so harder workers who succeed more get more pay than lazy workers. What I don't like is that it's a central party, but it kind of just takes a little bit from Democratic and Republican sides on arguments and meshes them together. So I think that they're kind of on the fence and just looking at things from both sides and saying, oh, that's good, we'll take that, and doing the same thing for the other side. What they could do better, I think, would be to kind of get a statement and have ideas that are their own and truly central and not just take bits and pieces from the two major parties. They also need to just keep going and keep getting their name out there, keep campaigning, getting more candidates up. And I think in their literature and their slogans, you can see that they're based on veterans, and I think you can really see the veteran ideals coming out in a lot of their material. And they're also trying to appeal to both Democratic and Republican voters at the same time, which is why we have some interesting statements coming from them. But overall, it was really interesting to learn about this party because it's not mainstream and very few people know much about it, I'm guessing, as compared to the two large ones. They have some promising ideas, but we'll have to see if they catch on. And they're very young, but I think their membership is kind of stalling now, so we'll see. It had quite a few when it began, but we'll see if they're able to continue to grow throughout the time. And I'll be interested to see if they have anyone elected to state houses in these coming elections this year. And that is it. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.